Hello there, it's Carol here from the Crafty Emporium. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me again. And I want to talk to you first about the pages within this folio. Okay, so when we open it up and open up this flap here, I'm going to add some pages in here. All right. Now I have already cut the thinnest strips of Tyvek. They're just fractionally less than 1/4 of an inch wide because that's the width of this spine area here. And I'm going to use my all-purpose Yoo-hoo glue because I know that it holds Tyvek really well. So I've got to be quick because it comes out quite fast. There we go. And then I'm going to stick that little strip on top, so that will sit inside that spine area, so that when it folds, it can fold quite easily. If I do it to the same size or slightly bigger, then it's going to encroach on that spine space. All right, and it's just to give it that little bit of extra support because I'm going to be poking holes in it shortly. And then the other thing that I thought that I would do was this pink and gold washi tape I'm going to add over the top, so that it just helps to protect and support that Tyvek. I'm going to use my Yoo-hoo glue again, and this will definitely go over the edge of the spine area, and it just makes it pretty and also helps to protect that Tyvek. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to leave that to dry before I actually try and fold it, because otherwise it will just crease and crinkle and look messy. In the meantime, whilst that's drying, I've got some avocado dyed papers here which I've cut down to size, and I've also cut out some of the digital papers as well. Now this one I've actually done a punched border on the edge, and then I've got another avocado dyed piece of paper, and then I've got 2 pieces of the digital papers which I've cut and folded to the same size, and I'm going to glue these together. And then I'm going to sit them on top of each other, making sure I've got them the right way round. And then I formed 2 little pockets. Just punch there a little thumb hole, and the same on the other side, and then that can go in there, and then another sheet of paper on top. And I've done the same, exactly the same in this one. I've just used slightly different papers. I'm going to use this clear elastic. It's 0.8mm wide, and in the description box down below is my Amazon affiliate link, and I've got this in, it might be in tools that one's in, with the link to it, but it's clear elastic, and I like using the clear elastic when I'm using it on a spine where it may be visible. So what I'm going to do, now that this is all dried, I want to poke a hole at the top and at the bottom of that narrow spine area. So in fact I'm going to do it from that side. So about 1/2 inch-ish from the bottom, and from the top, move my fingers out the way so that I don't poke a hole in my fingers. Okay, and this is why I put the Tyvek on, to help to support the spine because of me poking holes in it. And basically all I'm doing is I'm going in through the top and leaving a tail, and then going down to the bottom and then knotting the two together. So I'm going to pull on the elastic a little bit because obviously there's a bit of stretch in there, so I don't want it too slack. So you need to pull it in a little bit, not too much that it then ends up distorting the card. Now what I will end up doing is I will put a little piece of Glossy Accents glue onto that knot to hold it, because it will eventually come undone otherwise. And then I've stitched my signature together with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and then that will slip underneath the elastic. So that signature will now be held in place by that elastic, and it means that once I've finished using this signature, I can actually pull it out and I can replace it, so I can still carry on using the cover. And I will do the same on the other side as well. Moving swiftly on to the ephemera. Okay, what I've done is I've printed out the ephemera from out of the kit, and I've printed it onto a sheet of card about 180 to 220 GSM, and I've also printed on the back one of the pages from the digital kit as well. I've cut out all of the journaling cards and I'm going to leave those fairly plain, but I've kept a couple aside because I want to make a couple of little notebooks with them. So I've chosen these two with the sort of rose pattern on, and I've got some avocado dyed paper, so I want to rip it up to make this into the pages. Put those together, fold them in half, and then I can see how long they need to be. So about there. It's all technical stuff, this, you see. Technical. well thought out and measured. Okay, so I'm going to sit that one on top and then that one as the back, and then I'm just going to staple them at the top there to just hold it all in place. Okay, next thing I did was I cut a strip from one of the papers about 2 inches wide, folded it in half, and then I used my punch to do a punched edge, and I've inked up the edges of it all. So I'm going to sit that over the top, and I just want to measure how long it needs to be. So if I cut it to there, and then I can place glue on the back of that, and then that will sit on there. Okay, and then out of my Tim Holtz field notes, I've picked those for the front. So I'm going to glue those in place. So it's sat underneath that one, but sat on top of that one. The second one that I want to do is I want to do it so that it folds that way. And I'm leaving the white edge in between the two pieces, okay, because I can cover that over. This time I've got a piece of coffee dyed paper. I'm just going to fold it in half. Let's rip that edge off down there so that I've got that lovely feathery edge again. Okay, then I can fold those in half. Stick those in there. Staple it in the middle. So that's holding those pages in place. And I've got a piece of fabric that I thought I could just rip a strip off. There you go, rip it. So I end up with this lovely tatty edge. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue with this bit. In fact, let's get that more central. There we go. And then that can fold around, then that covers over that white piece then. And I can trim off that excess. And then I've got some more Tim Holtz bits of ephemera. Let me just double check. So I want that there. Bird because of the bird cage. And then a little label down there so that you can write on it if this little notebook is pertaining, it's rather a large posh word, isn't it? Pertaining, oh, helps if you have that the right way up as well, to something special. Yeah, all right with that, okay. Stick that on. Make sure you stick it on the right way up, Carol. And then, as you know, if you are a regular follower of mine, I like doing my faux stitching. We'll do a little bit at the bottom. And that's that little notebook done. There's quite a few of these little pouches in the ephemera pack as well. So I've cut one out ready, and then I'm just going to use my ruler and a bone folder, and I'm just going to run it around where all the fold sections are. So there's those side and bottom flaps, and then there's the piece that goes across the back, and then I can fold and burnish each of those pieces. So just scoring it to start with just helps to make the folding a lot easier. And so what I end up then doing is, where's my glue? There's my glue. Is I'm just going to put a line of glue on there. And then flip that over. And then the one across the bottom, I'm going to put it on the outside, because it can either go outside or inside, and then that will fold over there. And then I need my hole punch, or my circle punch I should say, and just punch out that semicircle there. And then I can either leave it as it is or decorate it. Now, I've done a couple already, So this one I'm going to use for storing some of the tags in, but I thought that I would show you something. Oh, and this one I'm going to use on my front cover. Pretty. So, you know, when I was ripping the papers for the notepads, I ended up with these little tiny strips of paper, and I thought to myself, we can add that on there. Rip that off. Bung a bit of glue on the back, and it just adds a little bit of something. To the pocket. Now it could be a book page. Doesn't have to be, you know, coffee dyed paper. It's just it happened to be sat over there where I dumped it. And then again, another one of those little Tim Holtzy ephemera pieces. Put a little bit of glue on the back. And then when I stick this on, it starts to look, because of the flower, a little bit like a seed packet. And that bit was the seal. So even just adding that tiny strip of paper and that one little diddly do, it just helps to finish it off nicely. There is also these little envelope pouches that you can cut out and use as well. So again, you do it in the same way, in that you cut it out, score the fold marks, and then make it up into the little envelope. I just thought I'd show you how I'm going to decorate this one. So I'm going to add a line of that pink washi tape that I've used already within the journal, just across the front here. So I'll put my glue down, because as you know, I don't trust the sticky on a washi tape. And then we'll cut that off. And then again, another one of those little scrappy strips. So I thought about sticking that on top. So we'll put a line of glue across there. And then I'm going to line that up, because there's a straight edge on there. So I'm just going to line that up with the top of the washi tape. So the washi tape is now sticking beneath that little scrappy bit of paper. I'll show you it close up. So it just adds a hint of colour. Again, just trim off that little bit of excess. And then I've got these two little paper dolls, so I'll stick those on the front. And notice that I'm not adding lace and stuff on any of these, and it's because I don't want to add the bulk to it. Because of the way in which the folder is made, you can't have a massive amount of bulk in there. So I just felt that if I added lace, it would start to bulk it up too much. So I'm trying to keep everything fairly flat. And then that's what that now looks like. So it just shows that just by adding a little bit of something, it just helps to finish off the actual item. I just wanted to show you first of all what it looks like on the actual ephemera sheet. So you've got these tags here. Now they're close enough together that you could cut that out as one piece and then fold them in half to make a little tag booklet. Or you can cut them out individually. There's then also these two pieces here. Now these are the pockets. And so what you do, where's my pencil? Is here. oh, I'll show you on this one. Here, this is a little tab. And then here is another tab. And then here is another tab. So if I show you up close, so this makes a tab, and that one and that one. So you cut it out and you fold those under, and then you stick it on top of the tag, all right, so that that pocket piece is stuck on top of this tag piece here, all right. And then there's some pretty little decorative tags at the bottom which you can then slip inside of the pocket. I know I said in my last video I wasn't going to add any lace, but I am actually going to add a little tiny piece to this. So I've got this really pretty tiny pink lace, and I'm just going to cut a little piece of it off, and then on this tag that sits on the inside, I'm just going to fold that lace in half at a slight angle, and then I'm going to staple it in place. And then I can trim a little bit of the excess off. And then that can sit in there. Okay, and that's all I'm doing to those little tags with the pockets. Now it's time to add all of this to the folio. I just want to add a little bit of decoration to these inside pockets here, and so what I've done is, again, this is one of the Tim Holtzy things, and from a scrap piece of paper I've just cut out one of the little bunches or bouquet, a bucket of flowers, and I'm just going to add that on the back, and I'm just going to glue it top and bottom for now. So that will go on there. So it's a little framed bouquet of flowers. Alright, and then I've got these scrap pieces of avocado dyed paper. And so what I thought I would do with these is I'm going to fold them in half to rip them, so that I've got two sets, one for each side, and I'm just going to rip them down the middle and just put a staple in one end to just hold them all together. And then that will sit in that space there. All right, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the back to hold those in place. And the same with this one. Helps if you get it straight. Come on, girl. Come on. And then that one will sit over there. And then on this side, I'm going to put the clock and this little ballerina. Now, I've always thought about this little ballerina is that she always looks like she's trying to tell the time. Hence me using the clock face. So it can sit on top of there. And then she can sit on top of the clock. So it looks like she's trying to tell the time like that. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to put this picture frame on. my spacing right. So that can sit on top of there. I always forget to poke these little tiny pieces out. Sometimes they come out and sometimes they don't come out very well. So where was that other one? There, by her arm. And then she can be attached on top of the frame. She will sit like that. So now we've got some little scrappy pieces of paper there to just write any notes on. And then in the pockets, I'm going to add in just the plain note cards, because I'm trying to arrange everything in here so that they can be pulled out and utilised in the journal part. So they can sit in there. On the inside pocket, I've got the pouch with the tags in, so that can sit in there. So again, those tags are now ready to utilise in the journal part. And then I've got the two little envelope pouches that I made. Well, I showed you one, that's the other one. Now in this one, what I've done is I've added a piece of acetate with some of the washi tape on, so that that can be utilised in the journal. And I just want to paper clip that to the top up there. Then on the other side, I'm going to add a little notebook. Which one? Let's add that one. So there's a little notebook in there, and then that can go up there. And in this one, I've put scraps of the papers that I was using, so any leftover little scrap pieces of paper. So that can be clipped at the top up there. And then in the back, what I've done is I've added some envelopes here, and I'm going to add some of the leftover papers in this pocket, so that if you wanted to write a letter, then you've got some writing paper and some envelopes. And then this little tag pocket that I made, I'm going to stick that on this part of the pocket here, and I'm going to add it as a tuck spot. So I'm only going to put glue around two sides. And then that can sit down there. And I've now got a tuck spot if I want to put something else in. And I could even put a little pouch of, you know, a little pack of stamps inside of there. Or you could add another tag on this side and put your stamps in that side. Or you can put a collection of these little tags in here, so that then they're ready to use inside this journal section here. All that's left now is for the front cover